Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. Today's video is on all of the Mon Guerlain fragrances. I have every single one, two of which I only have decants of, but I'm gonna tell you what each one smells like, how it's different from the other, and whether or not I would repurchase it. So we'll get right into it. Let's look at the original Mon Guerlain, and I ran out of my other bottle. I have this big bottle, which I haven't opened yet, but you know what? What the heck? For the purpose of this video, let's unbox it. This is a special edition gold bottle. Super beautiful. I love this gold bottle. I opened it for you guys. I was gonna keep it in storage, but I'm like, I need to compare the original to the SENSUELLE, which I've been using because they smell identical, spoiler alert. This is a beautiful vanilla and lavender. Of course, we already know that. There's patchouli in the base. There's a very slight licorice note, which not a lot of people pick up, but it is there and it just adds to the overall composition. Just a little bit of sweetness. It's a very sexy, welcoming, warm, feminine fragrance. This is a beautiful, like, elegant wife, you know? There's a few other supporting florals. There's some rose, iris, jasmine. It's really about the lavender and vanilla. It's what this fragrance is known for. To me, a more of a cooler weather fragrance. Fall, winter, spring. I can't wear this in the summer because it is too heavy for me, but it is one of my signature scents when it's a little bit cooler out, and even on summer evenings, I'll wear this. And I just think it's such a comfortable, easy to wear fragrance. Men absolutely love this. They go crazy for it. I get compliments on any of the Mon Guerlains all the time. So next we have the Mon Guerlain SENSUELLE. Here it is. Proof. This is identical to this. To my knowledge, this was initially a South American release, and some people claim that they smell differences and say that it's more creamy and whatnot. Honestly, they are, to my nose, absolutely identical. So we have the SENSUELLE here. We have the original Mon Guerlain here. They are the same. Completely the same. Seriously, I notice the SENSUELLE on sale all the time, and the SENSUELLE for some reason is like 40 bucks, like super cheap, and then the original Mon Guerlain is a little bit more expensive. Guys, just go for the SENSUELLE. It is the same thing. So moving on to the eau de toilette. This has been my reach during the summer because the eau de toilette is more about the lavender. It's a little bit airier. It's a little bit lighter. It doesn't have a patchouli note, and I think it has ylang in here as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a lot lighter, a lot airier, very easy to wear in the summer. So this is my Mon Guerlain for the summer, the eau de toilette. This one as well is like, can be found for a very affordable price. I think I got my big bottle and it came with a little mini bottle and it was like $60 or $65. So that's what the eau de toilette is. It lacks that creaminess, the depth, but it works perfectly when it's hotter out. It's not too cloying, it doesn't bother you. I'm very sensitive, and if a scent is powerful, sweet, it'll give me a headache if it's too heavy. The eau de toilette, not a problem. It does maintain the original DNA of Mon Guerlain, and people that are familiar with the fragrance will still be able to recognize it. It's just a little bit tweaked so that, in my opinion, you could wear it in the spring and summer quite easily. It's got a little different kind of creaminess. It's more of a floral creaminess. So like, instead of, you know, a lot of those deep rich notes, it has ylang and it has some caramel, and so it lightens it, but it still has the same effect. Next is the Mon Guerlain Intense, and I got a little decant. I have already used it up, so I don't think I can spray it, but I can smell it out of here. This is a richer, deeper, sweeter Mon Guerlain. It has a more prominent patchouli note. I can pick up the patchouli a lot more in this fragrance than in the original Mon Guerlain. The licorice is a little bit more prominent, and it's overall sweeter and heavier. So this is not something that I like to wear in the summer, but it's still a beautiful fragrance. But for people that don't have a problem with patchouli, I am like not the biggest fan of patchouli. So still a great fragrance. Still follows the original Mon Guerlain pillar. You have to choose what seems more appealing to you. If you're into a more heavier, sweeter fragrance, then the Mon Guerlain Intense is for you. If you aren't that interested in a very heavy scent, then stick to the original. The original is already quite heavy in my opinion. I don't need it to be any sweeter, so I would not be purchasing the Mon Guerlain Intense. You know what? I'll save that till the end. I'll save until the end which ones I will repurchase and which ones I won't. The next one, I'll get through the little decants. The next one is a very old Sephora decant, and I want to say this is from about a year ago, but I still have a little bit left, and this is the Mon Guerlain Florale. So it does maintain the original Mon Guerlain DNA, but it's a little bit washed out with various other florals. Honestly, it's not really for me. It's got some peony in there. It's just, it makes it, honestly, in my opinion, a little bit more generic smelling. It's like Mon Guerlain, slightly more generic. Maybe it's more likable for some people. Maybe some people that don't like such a strong lavender note want it to be offset by other florals. For me, it's not my jam. It's probably my least favorite of the entire Mon Guerlain collection. The other ones actually get me a ton of compliments, and the Mon Guerlain Florale, I wore through a couple samples actually. Really, I don't think I even got one compliment when I was wearing it. Like, that's not the point. I personally don't really enjoy it as much as the other Mon Guerlain. If it was the only option, I would still like it, but seeing as how there's better options in the Mon Guerlain lineup, I'd go for those. We're down to the last two. So we have Mon Guerlain Bloom of Rose. This is a 2019 release. This one somehow didn't catch as much attention when it got released, but I smelled it for the first time in Sephora and fell in love with it. Sorry, I'm lying. I smelled it at Shoppers Drug Mart and I fell in love with it. It stuck in my nose and it was so good. And it's very much still about the lavender and vanilla, but like a lighter, airier rose. It's not rose dominant at all. And I think that people are put off by Bloom of Rose because they think it's a rose dominant fragrance. It is not. It softens it, it makes it a little bit more feminine, and I love this one. Actually gets me the most compliments, and this one is probably my favorite from all the Mon Guerlains. I really like it. I wear it a lot. This is usually the one that I reach for, especially like if it's a date night evening situation. It's the Bloom of Rose that I go for. It sits really well on my skin. Just the way that the notes combine in this works with my skin chemistry, and it's very good. I think that it's a hidden gem. People don't give this the attention that it deserves. And guys, please try the Bloom of Rose Eau de Toilette. 2020 Bloom of Rose. I just got this big bottle. This is new. This, like, it's brand new. And this one I'm actually wearing right now, and it's on my hand. And this one is much more about the rose. So this would be for someone who likes Mon Guerlain but wants more rose out of it. This is a richer rose. The Eau de Toilette is more of a watery kind of background rose, kind of like a supporting note. This is about the rose, and then the original Mon Guerlain DNA is there. It's still a pillar of this fragrance. Like, this is still a flanker of the original, you can tell, but much more rose-centric. So for rose fans, this might be satisfying what you were missing in the Eau de Toilette. It's a richer, sweet, rosy rose. Like, that's what this one is. I like it. It's beautiful. But the Eau de Toilette on my skin works better, at least at the moment. You know what? Let me spray it again on my hand. The rose in here is similar to the rose that you would find in Delina. I'm not saying this is similar to Delina at all. It is that kind of rose. It's a flirty, like rich rose. It's a flirty, girly, rich rose, except that this is on a base of vanilla, lavender, and the original Mon Guerlain DNA. This is nothing like Delina. Guys, please don't take what I said and twist it into something completely different, which a lot of you tend to do sometimes. It's a mature, beautiful, elegant rose. This one is probably the one that I would say is furthest from the pillar Mon Guerlain. This is probably the furthest away from it, but it's a gorgeous fragrance. It's Mon Guerlain with a strong rose note, really. So let's go through all of them and I'll tell you which ones I would rebuy or not. The original Mon Guerlain, whether the original or the Sensuelle, I would definitely repurchase. I really like it, and it's the pillar. I want to have it. So yes, I would repurchase this or the Sensuelle. They are identical, as I've already said about 100 billion times. The Eau de Toilette, also I would repurchase because this is very easy to wear in the spring and summer and I like it a lot. The Intense, no, I would not repurchase or purchase it at all in the first place. It is too strong, too sweet for me, and the patchouli in it is kind of irritating. The Florale, also would not purchase because it is the most generic smelling and just kind of takes away whatever is interesting in Mon Guerlain and makes it less interesting. The Bloom of Rose Eau de Toilette, I love it. It is my favorite and I will always repurchase this one. It is one of my signature scents. Every time I smell it, it makes me happy and it just fits. This is just one of those fragrances. It just fits and it works for me and I love it. And yeah, for me, it's my favorite. It's an under the radar, somehow best flanker of Mon Guerlain. The Mon Guerlain Bloom of Rose 2020 Eau de Parfum. I have not had enough time with it to tell you if I would repurchase it or not, but I do prefer the Eau de Toilette over the Eau de Parfum at the moment. So if I had to choose one, I would choose the Eau de Toilette. It does have insane longevity and projection, by the way. All of these perform like crazy. They are all very long lasting, and that is also one of the reasons why I don't think the Intense is necessary, because the original is already very long lasting and strong. Anyway, the Eau de Parfum, it's good, but it is a lot more rose centric, so I have to be in the mood for it. This is like, I have to be in a rosy kind of mood, and yeah, I don't know that I would repurchase it. I'm 50-50 right now on this one. So those are all of the Mon Guerlains. I don't know if they will come out with any more. I don't know how much room there is in the Mon Guerlain flanker lineup. I'm pretty sure they've done it all at this point. Let me know what your favorite Mon Guerlain flanker is, and I'm sorry if I hurt any feelings. These are just my opinions, so, you know, take everything with a grain of salt, and whatever sounds appealing to you, if you want to try it, just try it. I always encourage, go sample it first. Don't blind buy a bottle. I mean, except for the Sensuelle, I totally blind bought that, and that was great, and it smells identical, so I was very happy about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it somewhat helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.